But I've been through some of the things that some of y'all have already got before. I'm not really led to just preach, but just to tell you a little bit about what I went through. When I was like 13 years old, I had got molested also, but out of it came the children of Moabites, which means I had a child by being molested. And I had to carry that child all through my life at an early age. I was almost not quite 16 when I had my child. And I had to carry that child. And people would ask me, who is your baby's daddy? What is his name? I never would say anything. And everybody thought that it was a guy that used to like me, but it wasn't. I never said anything. But one day I knew my daughter was going to grow up and I was going to have to tell her who her daddy was. And she became a teenager. She wanted to know and she found out. And it turned her to drugs. She had got on crack cocaine. And she was on it almost about 14, 15 years, I say. And we would pray and we would cry for God to deliver her. She had 2 children, which I done raised. She got a son 21 years old now. And she got one he'll be coming on into 17 in about 5 months. During that time, my first husband, he was on drugs also. So I had a daughter out there that was on drugs. I had a son that was, my husband was out there on drugs. And my husband would literally take, and I was getting food stamps, I was on welfare because, when somebody's out there, you can still work, but you need help. I had 5 children. And he would go out there, and he would take the food out of the house and go sell it to the drug dealer. Me and my kids would have nothing. Sometimes we would peanuts. Sometimes we have cheese bread. You stand in the welfare line, get that good cheese. We would have that. But listen what else God is saying. Leave that right there alone. Y'all haven't heard the half of it. On during that time, before I had came into this age, me and my sister used to stay with a lady while my mama was going to work, and the lady she would abuse us. She would bend my fingers back. Every day I went to her house, my fingers was bent back. And what she would say, if you tell your mama, I'm going to get you. Because you got to come back over here tomorrow, I'm going to get you. If you go back and tell her. She would stick a rag in my brother's mouth. He was just a little baby just because he was crying. And was sitting out there in the tub on her front porch. I seen her cut her daughter's throat and made her eat alcohol and mix it with salt. And the girl would try to run away, and she just do little stuff to her and wouldn't let her go nowhere. She made my cousin, he was a guy, just put on a dress. He was about 9 years old. I said, I want you to go over and put this dress on and walk in A&P. This is the stuff that you don't realize what people go through. And that's the reason why we were so scared. We wouldn't even tell our mama why. We wouldn't go. She'd get me in trouble. I'd go home, I had to stand in the corner because she would go home and tell lies. Go tell my mama when she come in and we done did this and we done that. So then we had to stand in the corner. She would eat our food. We wouldn't have no lunch. My mama would pack our lunch. She'd make us clean up her house. But then when my mama comes, she didn't know what it was about snuff. We were glad when she put that snuff in our mouth. Because when she would get that snuff, she'd be the sweetest kind of woman you ever want to meet. But when she didn't have it, we went through hell. She would make all us bend over and beat us just to do it. It wasn't nobody cutting our kids. Everybody was scared of her. But she just bent us over and said, bend down. And everybody was getting it. This happened every day. This went on for like all during the whole summer. To almost exactly the end. So we decided, me and my cousin, and we said, we're going to get together. I said, we're going to tell our parents, what we're going to do. So we went to our parents. We all got together. We went to our parents, and we told them what had happened. And they said, why didn't we tell us? And we said, we good, because we think nobody believe us. And so when you be molested, people don't want to believe you. Back then, it was hush-hush. You couldn't tell what went in your home. You couldn't go out and say, well, my daddy doing this, and my stepfather doing that. I would see and then while he was molesting me, he would sit there. My mom didn't know what was going on there. He would take the gun and just shoot at my mama, take the shotgun and just shoot and sit there and lay. He said, because if you do it, I was going to protect you too. I wasn't protecting myself. I was protecting my mother. Because I love my mother so much, I did not want nothing to happen to my mother. So while he was sitting there, he would say, just take the gun, and she'd be just sitting there scared. We'd be scared. And my sister would say, just let me kill her, Mama. Let me kill him. They probably won't hardly do nothing to me. I'm like, go in there and sit down. The devil would tell me many times in my mind when I was laying in bed, you know you can't beat him, but he's asleep. Go in there and kill him. Just go in there. His honest like this. Just go in there and kill him. But you know you carry around with shame. You know what I'm saying? You carry around like the devil make you feel like you're the only one going through this. Ain't nobody else going through this. And I know it was people that picked it up, but you know, people just kept their mouth shut. Just wouldn't say nothing. And so during that time, I also found out too that my sister, she was still late. My stepdad. He would go in there and drink at the table, and his friends would go in the room and get on top of my sister at 7 and 8 years old. And he act like he didn't even know what was going on. Therefore, my sister, she's going through mental stages right now because of this stuff. But you know what? When a lady got through with her testimony, God said the same thing to me. He said, you could have been in the what? Crazy house. He said, you could have turned to another woman. I listened to women that turned to other women. That they like it. They lesbian because why? They said somebody touched me. That's right. And that's why I don't want no man touching me. Right. Even the devil tried to get in my mind one time. I was like, I didn't take a pill either. I didn't go see a shrink. God was my shrink. Yeah. And let me tell you something. The devil will try to get in your mind with your relationship with your husband and say, well, you know, you just feel dirty. Yeah. And make it feel like, oh, that man didn't touch me. You know, I don't want nobody to touch me. The devil would get in me something like that, and I had to tell my husband, he would understand. You see what I'm saying? See, the second husband that I married, he was in God. My first husband would abuse me, like, ain't nobody gonna want you. You got 5 kids, ain't nobody gonna want you. And I would think that. And one day I was going to get a job, and I met a guy on the job, and he was like, you got 5 kids? He said, I heard you take care of your kids. I looked at him, I was like, nah, I just couldn't believe man wanted 5 kids. You know, because I was always, you know, that's what my husband instilled in me, and that's what I felt. So during that time, me and my husband already wasn't having no relationship. He would be sleeping on the couch, and I was sleeping in the bed. So I kept going to the job, and the guy, he pursued me every day. And so finally one day, he says, I'm like this sister right here, don't knock me, because you know what, if you ain't been through it, then you can't say nothing to me. You can't judge me like I'm a good say about, you know what, I don't never say what I won't do. I say, God help me not to. God be with me. Like she said, Holy Ghost be with me, because you know what, I don't want to do nothing if I don't have to. But God, don't let me do it. So you don't want to bring a shame on God.
That's right.
I always pray too, because like she said, you don't know what kind of reaction you're gonna have. Right. So I always say, God, please, God, just don't let me do this, God. But you know what happened? But then he found out that I was trying to date somebody else. So he came over here and I promise y'all the sheet knife is about this long, and it was curved like this. I'm a kid. It's like this. I ran over my friend's house. Her name was Ollie Page, this girl. They lived right across the street from me. I ran over her house. I went in the bathroom. And I said, God, I said, now, if this is not right, I said, you fix it. And I said, I don't want to be with a man. I was almost with this man. I was with him 17 years. I said, if he's not going to change, I said, move him out of my life, God. And I still had feelings. And sooner or later, let me tell y'all what happened. I went to a revival one night. This lady didn't know me. She was from California. And you know what she told me? She called me out. She said, you know what? She said, 6 months. She said, your whole life going to be changed around. And I shouted all in that church. I don't know where I was. By the time I woke up, I was on the floor. I tell you what, it felt good. But during that time, my ex-husband, you know, he was beating me. I went in there one time. I took the thing that would happen to me. He's in there shooting up and calling me at the van. He was stealing from the nursing home. What he was doing, he was working for the nursing home, so he was stealing their needles. And he was taking the needles and shooting them up in his arm. And he got hepatitis. Yes, he did. He got hepatitis. So they said, ma'am, you're going to have to come on and get checked because, you know what, he's got hepatitis, so we need to make sure you ain't got it. I went through these tests and went through this for a whole year. And they said, you ain't got nothing. You ain't got nothing. And so let me tell you how good God is. During that time, he was losing weight. He couldn't keep nothing on his stomach. I had to take care of him. Also, we had 2 bathrooms. They said, I want you to use this bathroom, you and your kids. And they didn't have this bathroom. But that's why I use Clorox all the time. He said, use Clorox. He said, they would kill that jerk. So and they got me in the Clorox. And so what I did while he was doing that and stuff like that, when he was in there, you know, shooting up, and you know, Steve was still trying to shoot up. While this man was sick, he was still trying to shoot up. And they said, you know what, you might end up getting this. And I said, Lord, please please don't let me get this, God. I said, I got these 5 kids. I said, I ain't got nobody else to help me. I said, but God, if you bring me out of this, God, Jesus. I said, God, I will serve you, God. See, it takes something to serve God. And people don't know what you've been through. That's right. People look at you, they don't know what you've been through. People snare their nose up at you, they think they're better than you. And I've been in church where people don't want you to say this, they don't want you to say that. But one thing about me, I can't be funny with people. I can't be fake. I gotta keep it real. I don't care if they call me whatever you want to do to me. Amen. And when I go to church and I see people sit there and people pour their hearts out and people just don't even say hallelujah, praise God, thank you, Jesus. They don't say that. They can sit there and look at you like they're looking at TV. Let me tell you something. When God brings you out of something, you can't be able to praise Him. I have to be real. I have to be real. See, I ain't got no other way to go but to be real. Because of what I've been through. I feel like this lady was ministering to me because that's the only thing that I said, God, I ain't went through. Everything these ladies been through, I've been through. Being abused, molested. My fingers right now, that's why they so big. I'm allowed you to minister to women. Most women that go to my church, just about the whole church is out there. That's maybe my uncle, brothers, stepfathers, fathers, some kind of way. Most of the ones that's lesbians, they said, you know what, I can still smell that man. Yeah. That man, when he took me in that shop and did that to me. That's why I don't want no man. All right. But then God showed me all that. He said, you still blessed out of it all. He said, because why? Look at your sister. She's taking stuff with mental stuff right now. Oh, you didn't have to do that. But if she had to stay in God, she wouldn't need it. That's right. But she could not take it. Oh, Jesus.